Hey Tayla.
Hi, Tania, nice to see you.
Lovely to be here. Thank you for having us in your space.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for asking us to be part of the series.
Yeah, no, we're very excited. Tayla, tell me about the space.
So this is our design store called 99 Design. It's based in Braamfontein at 99 Juta. And what it is, it's really a bunch of friends that we found over the past 2 years after COVID, who all have amazing brands, but they don't necessarily have a space in Johannesburg to showcase their products. So we conceptualized the store. We just said, let's go for it and let's see where it takes us.
That's so awesome. And tell me why Braamfontein?
So Braamfontein is like a hub to where we've kind of met all of these designers. During the pandemic, I actually came across a lot of them over Instagram, and then subsequently through our events company, Dear Friends, where we kind of just meet all these young people who are doing interesting things. And that's kind of how we started to discover the Boyds, the Namors, which you're wearing, Asa Sadan from Cape Town. And upon all of our these kind of interactions, we found that these people are actually making interesting things that we'd really like to spotlight in Johannesburg.
Amazing.
They're doing it a lot in Cape Town. I mean, there's beautiful stores over there that are multi-label design stores, but we didn't feel like Braamfontein or even Johannesburg had something that was truly authentic and spoke the story of these young designers that are telling the same story but in one cohesive space. And Braamfontein is just home to us. This is our office space. We have the whole ground floor at 99 Juta, and it's also the co-founders, Dr. and Mrs. Who designed all of our stuff in the store. They actually own the building as well. So kind of it was a natural fit for us to bring this kind of more high-end South African design to an actual Braamfontein landscape.
No, that's so amazing. I love the fact that you obviously, being in the fashion industry, wanting to give a platform for young designers. What is your process? I mean, I know you've touched on it where you've actually been on Instagram, so you've found a lot of these people, but when it actually comes to meeting them and looking at their pieces, obviously quality is very important, and as we all know, the way the world is going now, we're becoming more conscious of where we buy things, how things are made.
For sure.
So sustainability is a big part of what we do and what we are conscious of as consumers. So what's your process your process for choosing designs? What do you look out for? And what is your background in knowing and understanding quality and all of those things?
Okay. So I think it's quite a long process that led us to this journey. Look, it hasn't just been us kind of just finding these people over a month and being you're in the store, It's been a long and process of kind of interacting with these people, I think working at Dr. and Mrs. I'm actually from Port Elizabeth.
Okay.
And we always used to do these sorts of things where we kind of unearth people who really do need a platform and then find a space for them. And that's kind of what happened when I moved here. I started working for Dr. and Mrs. and through that process, I think my eye for curation just really did improve, I could see detail, quality, color, and
amazing,
that you can see that in the store, actually the spotlight color is this really cobalt bright blue. And I think some of the designers have even touched on that Pantone for this specific store. But what helped is there's definitely a curation element that we need to look at. It had to be locally sourced. The fabrics had to be, kind of sourced locally, as well as the design element. It had to be made by the designer. So for the consumer. So we didn't want anything that was big runs. So you'll see in most of the pieces that we have in the store are limited run. And I think that's the key factor to the store, is that you can only get these items here and they're only available for a short span of time. Sustainability, plays a huge part. Even the designers that we've selected are all following that kind of sustainable vision, where even these pants I'm wearing from Unknown Projects, which is a really interesting brand, their whole brand is around taking old garments that they find and then just making them into something beautiful.
Upcycling
so seeing the stain on this pants, it's upcycled, and it's just, that's what we really want to push, is young design, passionate designers, and also just cool people, I guess.
That's so awesome. Thank you. That's really such a great concept. And I think obviously we know the way the world has changed, especially when it comes to retail spaces. You know, online shopping has become a big thing, and I think the new wave of shopping is definitely to have a space like this where you have multiple designers. And obviously everybody shops from the big retailers, but I think we definitely are excited about finding unique pieces and championing our local designers and seeing what they can do, and know that actually, you know what, I would rather spend a little bit more, but I know my piece that I'm buying, it's
gonna
quality,
last.
fabric is so important, you know, the type of fabrics that we use, the longevity of it, you know, those are all factors that comes into play when we're going to purchase anything.
For sure.
And also, you don't want to look like everybody else at the end
Well,
of the
this is the thing. I think people are now more conscious about buying, especially from the pandemic. I think it helped us to see, like, we actually do want quality. You know, we don't want fast fashion. I think that's why, you know, all these pieces, interestingly enough, some of them are trans-seasonal, you know. It's not like we have always like a spring-summer line. It's trans-seasonal.
Yes, 100%.
Because Joburg weather, you know, actually Cape Town
yes,
is
I was
the
going to say
problem.
Cape Town more. I think Cape Town more, 4 seasons in one day.
Well, that's the thing. So we want to have a store that, like, you can buy a puffer in winter. Cause, I mean, in summer, because why not, you know?
Why not,
I think that's the element there, is just buying things that last and buying things that are different, that tell a story. I think that's what the people are actually buying more into, is like, this garment was made by so and so, and this is his aesthetic, and you know that's what sells for us.
That's awesome. So Tayla, obviously this is a retail store, so what advice do you give your customers in terms of garment care when they purchase your items? What is the best advice?
So we say, I mean, just to hand wash most of the things. Machines, you know, sometimes it can damage the product, so we just say please just hand wash it, and then definitely instead of an iron, rather go for a steam. Just for that even look, and it just makes the garment look so much better, and just keeps it fresh and intact.
Okay, cool. So Tayla, you mentioned to me that the manager of the store is very much into thrifting, and obviously we know that the thrifting culture is growing exponentially. You know, it's a very big thing at the moment, which is obviously really great for the environment, and as we touched on earlier, sustainability. Can we just chat some more about the thrifting that he does and why he loves it?
So I think just in general in Braamfontein there is this like huge thrifting culture that's kind of like you're saying, it's emerging, and you know the reason kids are doing it is because they really do like nice things, and nice things that they don't have to spend like thousands of rands for. They'd rather go and kind of like sift it out and find it, and for us like sustainability and thrifting is really cool because it doesn't have to be like, you know, farmers market vibes. It can be something that is actually quite contemporary. So yeah, I think thrifting can be something that is quite contemporary and quite, you know, a bit like couture or high end, if you could say. And Ntlanhla is opening a brand called Buy Supply, which he kind of figures out to thrift pieces that he feels that will fit into the store, and I think it's just going to be this nice like mix of using new design with kind of like old stuff that he's dug up and found and sourced that really do fit the aesthetic of the store but are along the thrift line. So we are really excited to see that and see how that does in the store as well.
That I think is so exciting because you know, as we know, we want unique pieces.
For sure.
We don't want to look like everybody else that's walking down the street, and I think that's why thrifting is such a big deal at the moment, and that's why these young designers, the pieces that you have in the store, it's all so unique. And I'm assuming they don't make too much of one particular design?
Definitely not. Like I was saying, so some of the pieces are actually limited runs. They'll only ever make, say, like 20 jerseys or 20 jackets of that particular style for the season, and then once that's done, that's it. So I think it's really a more it's a selling point for people to really just come into the store, pick up the pieces they like, and you know, once you've got that item, you won't ever see anyone else on the streets.
That's amazing. You'll be one of 20 in a city of how many millions of people?
I'm telling you. And we want to be different, you know, and I think that's why we need to support these local designers who are really pushing to be different. So
and to give the people what they want.
For sure.
Thank you so much, Tayla. It's been amazing chatting to you.
Thank you. See you.